Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make a pressed flower lamp that adds a cozy glow to any room. It's super easy and you only need a few simple supplies, so let's get started. To begin, I'm using an A4 sized clear plastic sheet. I trimmed the height to 16 cm, keeping the original 21.5 cm width for the lamp circumference. For embellishments, I'm using tiny pressed daisies and leaves. Next, I grabbed Mod Podge and started by applying a thin layer to the top surface of the flower. Then I placed it face down onto the plastic sheet. Once placed, I sealed the back of the flower with another light coat of Mod Podge to secure it fully in place. I repeated the same process with the leaves, applying Mod Podge to the pretty side, placing it face down and sealing it with another layer. Now here's an important detail. I'm placing all the elements upside down. That's because when we roll the sheet into a cylinder, the decorated side will face inward. This technique protects the delicate botanicals inside the lamp while giving the outer surface a clean, smooth look. I continued this process, carefully arranging the flowers and leaves across the sheet. I tried to keep the glue application tight around each flower and leaf to avoid smudging or leaving visible glue residue. Next, I grabbed some gold leaf and tore it into small pieces. I added them wherever I noticed empty spots. It gives the lamp a nice bit of shine and makes everything feel more finished. To seal those in place, I lightly tapped a bit of Mod Podge on the back using a brush super gently, just enough to hold them without dulling the gold. This part is totally optional, but if you want a cleaner look, you can go in with a damp cotton swab and wipe away any extra glue around the flowers and leaves. Next, I cut a 25 by 10 cm piece of cardboard. I marked the center and cut it in half, so now I have two strips measuring 5 by 25 cm each. Then I started peeling off the top layer of the cardboard to reveal the corrugated layer underneath, that wavy layer that you usually find in the middle. I started from one edge and slowly pulled the top layer back. It doesn't have to be perfect, but going slowly keeps the ridges underneath intact. Once I got the hang of it, I found an easier way to do this. I used my right hand to peel back the top layer while my left hand held the cardboard steady and pressed it slightly backward. To paint the strips, I started with a mix of brown and black acrylic paint. I poured out some brown first and added a little amount of black to darken it. That gave me this beautiful rich chocolate brown shade. I used that mix to paint the cardboard strips, making sure to really work the paint into all the grooves and ridges of the corrugated surface. Once the textured side was fully covered, I flipped the strip over and painted the back too, just to keep everything looking neat and finished. After the brown paint dried completely, I brought in some metallic gold acrylic paint. I picked up a tiny bit on a dry brush and lightly brushed it across the surface, just enough to catch the raised parts and add some highlight. I focused mostly on the raised ridges, I think they're called the flutes, and then let whatever was left on the brush sweep over the lower areas too. That gave the whole piece a really nice antique brass look, which I absolutely love. I also added the gold paint to the back of the cardboard strips to make everything look nice and even. Now that the Mod Podge is almost dry, I'm moving on to the next step. I'm gently rolling the plastic sheet into a cylinder, making sure the side with the pressed flowers ends up on the inside and the smooth side faces outward. Once I had the edges lined up, I grabbed a stapler and secured the cylinder by adding a staple near the top and another one near the bottom, right where the two edges meet. Then I cut a few thin pieces of clear tape and applied them along the seam to help smooth it out and keep the cylinder in shape. I started by wrapping the cardboard strip around the cylinder to get the right length and then trimmed off the extra. Next, I laid the strip flat with the smooth side facing up and placed the bottom edge of the cylinder at one corner like this. To hold everything in place while I worked, I used a piece of tape. Then I ran a thin line of PVA glue along the top edge and side of the strip and spread it out a bit. After that, I began wrapping the cardboard around the cylinder. Once I reached the end, I sealed it with some hot glue. Then I grabbed the second cardboard strip and glued it along the top edge of the cylinder. I made sure there was about an inch of overlap between the strip and the cylinder. To create the base, I cut out a circle from cardboard to fit the bottom of the lamp. I painted the circle the same way I did the cardboard strip, starting with a dark brown base coat. Once it dried, I dry brushed with some gold acrylic paint to give it a warm vintage look with a bit of shine. To finish it off, I glued the base to the bottom of the lamp. Then to bring it all together, I added some LED fairy lights inside, and just like that, our beautiful pressed flower lamp was ready. I think it turned out so magical. What do you guys think? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this lamp idea. If you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time.